I set out to see if there was a way that we can still enjoy 1080p or 1440p gaming without having to destroy your wallet or your bank account. I have to tell you, it took some work and a lot of finagling, but we managed to come in under $500. Well, it was $498, but still under $500. It was a feat, but I'm going to break down what I did to get to these numbers and how long it kind of took. It's going to be rough estimations. Let's break this down to see if you're able to come close, especially because the markets are different in every area. What I have access to because of where I live, you can find better deals or worse deals. It just depends on where you live, or really how far you're wanting to travel and how long you want to stay, like on eBay, Java, those kind of sites, OfferUp, Marketplace. It took a lot of work. I want to tell you that. It took a lot of work to get to this point. I think what helped me, though, was I'm in California, near Los Angeles, so I think I have a better opportunity to find better deals, but also more when people disappear after you start talking to them and then they just ghost you. I got a lot of those too. So it took a while. This is an AM4 build. To be realistic, that's what, unless you get really, really, really lucky and find really good deals on like AM5 or what is it, 1700, LGA 1700 for Intel. I mean, it's going to be tough. But if you're into AM4, you can still play games AM4 and still do really well. The motherboard I went with was the AORS MB450. It's a B450 board, which is almost end of life now. The median price for this is around $69. You can find that on eBay. You can find those on Marketplace, on OfferUp, stuff like that. $69 for this motherboard. It looks new. If it wasn't new, they did a good job cleaning it or whatnot. This is where you might be able to save some money. This board doesn't have Wi-Fi, so I had to find a Wi-Fi PCIe card. I don't trust those little dongle things. I know like people say it's like the same thing, but I don't know. To me, I'd rather have a PCIe card. But I found it for $20 on eBay. It's a AX5400, $19.99, but on eBay. And then right after I bought that, which is hilarious, was I found another one for $14.99. Just kind of keep looking because things pop up and leave all the time. The CPU is where I could have done better. The CPU is a Ryzen 7 3700X. It's an older, like 2 or 3 or 4 generations. It is 8 cores, 16 thread though. And I did get it for $60. You can find them on eBay Marketplace. eBay is going to be like one of your biggest places to find better deals, but you really have to be on eBay to find them because a lot of people swoop things up as soon as they come on. My way of thinking was if I want to stream or record and play at the same time, at least this way, I have a better chance with the cores. And you can find a faster CPU though. That's what I landed with. The RAM, now this is the problem. Trying to find good deals on RAM. So this obviously is DDR4 and it's G-Skill, which is, readily available pretty much. For 3200 mega transfers, I guess that's what they call it now, megahertz, mega transfers. I managed to buy it for $70 on eBay. And you can tell that there are 2 different sticks, the same clock, the same mega transfers, but one was like in 2017 and one was 2019 or something like that. You're going to find a lot of stuff like that. People are scrounging. $70, it hasn't given me a problem. I'm actually quite surprised with this PC, honestly. Storage, this is where I think I'm going to do really well compared to you guys, because I actually found a website, but I found a terabyte Gen 3 drive for $68.90. This was like 3 months ago almost. Funny thing about this though is it wasn't formatted. It was trying to repair Windows, but it wasn't formatted. The GPU is, I was on OfferUp. There was a RX 5700 for $150, offered $100, and then they countered to $115, and I got a 5700 for $115. 5700 is a pretty solid GPU though. I was surprised, especially in Warzone. The PSU is also another place where I think that you might be able to do better, especially maybe even new. You might be able to find maybe like a 650 watt for $60. I wanted to give a little bit of headroom if I wanted to do a Ryzen 9 5950, upgrade it later on. That would be the highest upgrade I could do was the Ryzen 5950. And I wanted to have, if I did also do that and go to like a 3080 or something, I wanted to have the power to do it. So it's a 750 watt power supply. So the PSU, that's what I was talking about. Apex Gaming, 750 watt. I got it for 65 when it was listed for 75. Just negotiated down $10. The case I got for this thing though, the Zalman case on Newegg. So Newegg has like these daily deals, and I saw this case. It's a budget case, you can tell, but it's tempered glass. Fans are loud as hell, but for $30, I mean, tempered glass, it fit all my components. It wasn't like an ATX case with a mini ATX board. It doesn't look ridiculous. It's a small footprint. It's nice if you're okay with loud fans. You can always change fans down the line, but this came with 3 fans. They work good. I got the CPU cooler, came with the CPU. So that was $30 on Newegg. I did also have an old SSD laying around. Like if you've ever had like old laptops, it was a Stadia SSD, a 2.5 inch. You have one of those laying around. You can put games on it. It's a 500 gigabyte SSD. It's worth 1.2 million on the market right now. But I have one laying around and that had a Windows 7 on it, just to give you an idea how old that is. So the breakdown, it was $69 for the motherboard, $20 for the Wi-Fi, $70 was for the GPU, $69 was for the SSD. I rounded up $69. 10 cents is $69. So $65 for the power supply and $30 for the case. I brought it to $498. And this was a result of weeks, maybe even months of wheeling and dealing.
Woo! Wheeling and dealing!
It's like Ric Flair. To get to some of the FPSs I wanted to get to, especially like in 1440p, I was using the Adrenaline software, obviously, AMD, that's what you're gonna have to use, but I enabled FSR 3.0 and also FrameGen. It was a really nice playing experience. This is on balance, and I went around 115, 125, sometimes it would jump up higher. All right, $500 PC, playing some Warzone in 1440, balanced. Dynamic resolution will turn on. FS3.
Enemy dropping into the AR.
Getting shot! Reloading!
Oh, no you don't.
Target down,
Reloading!
marking the rest of them.
Here comes a
You've got a loadout drop inbound.
Inserting additional armor.
Inserting additional armor.
New intel dumped in.
Hostile armor broken.
The airdrop is
Reloading.
going up shortly. Hunt them down. Good kill. Marking the rest of that squad on your tac map. An enemy. Be destroyed. And hunt down the rest of them. Target down. Marking the rest of them.
Hostile armor broken.
Good kill, Hunt. No more second chances. Enemy dropping into the AO. Only 5 remain. You were close.
And then around 115, that was like the bottom. With using FSR 3.0. Do you guys frown upon using things like FSR, DLSS, or DLAA, anything like that? Do you think that's necessarily not? I don't know. You do frown upon that? I just want to know. Let me know in the comments below. We also played Arc Raiders. And this one, like I said, this is where it showed its age. You'll see that the real engine, it really taxed this system. Very playable experience, 1440p. But I only got around 110 top to 80 FPS. Back in here, the arc raiders. See how this fares. Some settings, graphics, borderless, full screen, 1440. Yeah. Medium. Looks like it's all going to be medium. Let's see then. FPS. Still look phenomenal. Things were balanced. I moved some things to low and it didn't change the FPS. Overall, 110 to 80 FPS. That's what it's going to do with FSR. And I think it was a very playable experience, fun experience. I had a good time playing with that. I was really surprised about this hardware and how good it worked. The reason I tried to do this is I wanted to show that older hardware is still a viable option. Viable enough until we get out of this like AI Rampapocalypse crap. And seriously, if you're just wanting to game and play these games, esports is gonna run real well with these. But you can still play AAA games on a budget. I'm sure you can find better deals. What I like though about this, like this case especially, what I liked about it was its form factor. So it's 11 1/4 inches long, 8 inches wide, and 15 1/2 inches tall. It'll fit on the desks in a corner. You'll be fine. It doesn't take up a lot of space. And now, especially with like this GPU and CPU, you can probably even throw on SteamOS on here, SteamOS 3.0 or something like that. You can probably even throw that on there and it'll work good because it only works with AMD stuff right now. There we go. It's just your Steam machine, but it's not a Steam machine. So if you were to use a Ryzen 7, let's say 5800X, or even a Ryzen 5 3600X, you might get actual like a better experience, higher frames. It'll be a higher clock, so it'll be faster chips. If you can find those around this price point, like $60, save some money somewhere else, your experience will just get better. The CPU has a 65 watt TDP and the GPU has a 225 watt TDP, and they need air. Luckily though, the CPU is only a 65 watt TDP. When you're choosing your case and your GPU, you'll see how this fits. I literally squeezed this in here. It works fine, doesn't overheat, doesn't crash out, nothing. It's a pretty well built PC. I just want to game on a PC with some friends, have some good laughs. I ain't trying to do AI. The worst part is though, like us gamers that are just gamers that don't want to use AI can't even afford to game. Like look at PS5. PS5 Pros are like $800, $900. That Steam machine now is like $1,150 That's another reason why I went AM4, because AM4, they're high, just not as high as like Willie Nelson. Overall, this side quest I gave myself for absolutely no reason came out pretty decent. Tell me what you think. Tell me what parts you would have chosen yourself. What components and why. Let me know in the comments. One thing I do want to know though was, would you rather have high, like super high FPS in 1080 gaming? Or would you want like above 60 FPS on 1440p? I noticed a bigger difference going from 1080p to 1440p than I did from 1440p to 4K. Way bigger difference. Let me know what games you're playing at the moment. Maybe I can download some and see how that goes and comment back with you or do a short back to you. Warzone took up almost half of this 500 gigabyte drive, which is insane. It's just Warzone. It's not even Black Ops 7. It's just Warzone. So let me know if this is what a $500 PC is what you expected. Are you okay with using like older hardware? Tell me in the comments below. What makes me angry, especially like these bigger channels, like where they're so out of touch because things are just sent to them. Like they gaslight people to buy this new hardware. Like you've got to have the new GPU, or you have to have the new motherboard and RAM. Yes, things, especially with gaming PCs, they become obsolete eventually. I don't think that the older hardware has reached that time yet. It's starting to show its age, but you can still game Warzone, esports, Arc Raiders, probably GTA 6 when it comes out on your AM4 platform. This older hardware is still very viable. I'm not going to give you fancy edits. I'm not going to blow smoke. I want to give you information. I don't want to have to zoom in and out and pretend I'm throwing my computer to me at myself in my chair to get your attention to save, $700. I'm just going to tell you, I want you to save $700 and this is how. I'm not going to Mr. Beast anything. I'm just going to tell you. I'm just going to tell you how it is. I just want to show you this kind of stuff because there's a lot of people that are on fixed incomes, and I understand that because I'm on a fixed income. I have been lucky with some of these companies that have trusted me and helped me out a little bit. So I get it. I can come from that point of view because I'm in that point of view. I know what it feels like. I totally understand not being able to spend $500 on 32 gigabytes of RAM. There's some people that it might hurt, but they could do it. I can't do it. So it makes sense to me to make these type of videos because I'm the type of person that wants to see these kind of videos, like how to still enjoy gaming without having to kill myself to buy RAM and storage. Overall, still on the struggle bus. I want to help as much as I can to help you find great items that don't cost $1 million. Anyway, guys, thanks you for spending time with me. Listen to me rant. Listen to me explain this $500 PC, which is actually pretty extraordinary for what it is. It's that time because I gotta go because my back hurts.